konnichiwa! Hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorites from 2020. Now, I know a lot of people struggled in 2020. It was one of the weirdest, strangest years that I've ever had. It was very long and boring for me, but we're gonna get into some goodies that I just loved all throughout 2020. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you are new here or you enjoy this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I post my videos. And my disclaimer, if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is definitely not the place for you. I'm a no filter bitch and I have no idea what's gonna come out of this potty mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So if you guys are interested in my favorites of 2020, then just stay tuned. My hair is a hot mess. I just tried a new product today. I washed my hair earlier. I use the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle, and there's no curls at all in my hair, which is crazy. I use a lot of the Shea Moisture products and those give me really nice waves, but this just gave me a lot of poofiness, a lot of frizziness here. So I'm really glad I bought the travel size because this is just gonna be a no-go for your girl here. Let's get into my products that I've loved all throughout 2020. Now, I'm not going to mention any concealers because I recently did a video of my top 5 favorite concealers and those stand true to this day. I always use those 5 concealers in rotation, and so there's no point in me mentioning them in this video because all 5 of those concealers are my favorite. So I will leave that in the eye up here if you guys are interested in my top 5 concealers, especially for dry skin. So the first favorite of 2020 is the Purito Centella Green Level Safe Sun. There is a lot of controversy over this right now, if the SPF is really 50 or not, and I believe someone did a test, an SPF test on this, and it ended up being like 20 something SPF. So for me, that really sucks, but it's something that I used all throughout 2020 and I really loved. I like the fact that this absorbs into the skin. It doesn't leave a white cast, and I just really love the smell of this. Centella is one of my favorite scents along with eucalyptus and tea tree. It just has really great benefits also for redness and acne, and I just love this sunscreen overall because it works under your makeup great. It doesn't pill or flake or do any kind of weird stuff, and so until I find out more about this, I'm probably still going to keep using it until I find another sunscreen that I just really love. The next product I have is a face primer. I believe I bought this in like 2019, but I used it all throughout 2020. There wasn't a day, I think, that I didn't use this primer. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. Now, this is called the Primerizer because it's a primer and a moisturizer in one. And when you are as dry, flaky, crusty as me, you want a primer that has moisturizing properties in it because it just helps your makeup application go on so much better. I love this because it sinks very nicely into the skin and it doesn't leave any kind of weirdness, and it feels very light as well. It's almost like a very watery texture, and that's one of the reasons why I love this so much, because it's not a thick layer on your skin. Some primers that are moisturizing primers, they have like a thick gel type of consistency, and not all of them absorb into my skin very well. It just absorbs so well. It makes my face really moisturized, and I just love it. The next 2 products I'm going to be mentioning are foundation. The first foundation is this number 7 Protect and Perfect All-in-One Foundation. I am wearing this today. I love this foundation. I love it so much because it is great for dry skin. Not only that, but it doesn't emphasize any texture. It doesn't emphasize any dryness on my skin. It looks beautiful throughout the entire day. I did a wear test on this. All the foundations that I ever mention on my channel, I usually done a wear test, but I just love this so much because it's just a great all-around foundation. Now, this is not high coverage by any means. I would say that you can get this to a medium coverage, but I just can't stop using this because it makes my skin look so good. I'm wearing it right now and I just really love just the finish of this, the way it sets on your skin. I love the way it goes on, and it's just such a beautiful foundation. Also, this has SPF 50 in it, and anything with SPF, your girl approves of, because you always need some kind of SPF on your face whenever you're leaving the house. And so the fact that this has SPF is an added benefit to me. I just cannot say enough about this foundation, you guys. It is one of my ultimate favorites of 2020. Just for shade reference, I have the lightest shade, which is Porcelain. A lot of people say Calico is the lightest shade, but it is not, because your girl is pale as shit. I know that Calico is not the lightest shade. It is in fact Porcelain. So if you are as pale as I am, definitely try and get the Porcelain shade. The next foundation is the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie foundation. Now, this foundation is absolutely amazing. It is anywhere from light, medium to full coverage. It is completely customizable. You can even use it as a concealer because that's how full coverage it can get. I also love the packaging of this because you have the option of using the pump, or you can unscrew the pump and use the doe foot applicator that's in here. Now, I am someone who likes to use the doe foot applicator rather than the pump just because it's so much easier to put it directly on your skin from the tube. And this, you guys, it looks so good on the skin. Now, this can get a little cakey if you add too much powder, so you have to be very, very careful. But if you're someone who is on the full coverage side, this is definitely something you want to try out. I can't believe that this is full coverage and doesn't cling to dry patches, because a lot of full coverage foundations, they are usually matte and they always cling to my dryness. But this foundation, it just looks beautiful on the skin, blends well, products blend amazingly on top of it, and this is just an all-around great foundation. If you have not tried this yet and you're looking for a full coverage foundation, this is something I totally recommend checking out. So next products are powders. Now, my ultimate favorite, even through 2020, was the Cover FX setting powder, but I actually included that in my 2019 favorites as well, so I'm not going to include it in this video. Just know that is the best fucking powder out there. I don't care what anyone says about Laura Mercier. I know that Laura Mercier is not cruelty free, but hands down, Cover FX is the one. It is the ultimate best loose setting powder in my opinion. So if you haven't tried that one out, definitely try it, especially if you have dry skin. Now, these two powders are pressed powders, and they're something that I found in 2020 and I absolutely love them. Again, I'm wearing them today. I have the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Finishing Powder. Now, this is in the shade Light, and I'm wearing this under my eyes. I love number 7 pressed powders. The other pressed powder that I have from number 7 is, I believe, the Perfect Light pressed powder, and that one just stays in my purse 24/7 because I love it to do touch-ups. And this is no different. When I say no different, I mean it is a different formula. This one is made to look a little bit more luminous than the Perfect Light pressed powder, and that's why I love this powder, because it doesn't cling to dry patches. It gives you a nice youthful glow over whatever foundation or concealer or whatever you're putting it over. So I really like this one because it doesn't make your face as matte as the Perfect Light pressed powder, which, don't get me wrong, still love that powder, but this one is more of a illuminating powder. It's very soft and it has a little bit of coverage, so if you want just a slight amount of coverage to your pressed powders, this is definitely something that you want to try out. Also, this is very inexpensive in my opinion. This is around $12.99, and for me that is a really great price point, especially the way that this powder just performs. It has kind of a blurring filter effect, and it's just such a beautiful powder. If you have not tried this, definitely pick it up. You can get it at Target and Walgreens, and I just can't say enough about this pressed powder. The other pressed powder that I just absolutely love and recently reviewed is the Bite Beauty Changemaker Flexible Coverage Pressed Powder, and this is just such a beautiful powder. I actually really love the packaging. It's very like a light minimal pink, and it's just so freaking cute. It's so simple and minimalist, and it has a cute little mirror inside here, so you can take this in your purse for touch-ups on the go, and it even came with one of these little sponges. Now, the one thing I don't like is the sponge, because it does feel really cheapy, but it gets the job done. At first, I did not like it because this powder will change the shade of your foundation. It'll make it kind of oxidize as well as your concealer, so you do have to be careful about where you place this powder if you're someone who is bothered by foundation changing with the powder. I am someone who hates that. I hate when I put a powder on and my foundation changes like 2 or 3 shades darker. It's just a big pet peeve of mine, but the reason why I love this one so much is because I actually use it to set this area of my face. So I set my nose and I set the sides of my cheeks all the way up into my temples, and then I set the higher parts of my face. So what I like to use this is not only as a setting powder, but because it changes my foundation to a slightly bronzy tone, I like to use it as a kind of makeshift bronzer, if that makes sense. So I only add it to where I want like the bronzy look. So I do really love this powder, It's just you have to be very, very careful with the type of foundations that you're using with it, because again, it will change the color. This has the most amazing blurring effect for a powder that I've ever used in a pressed powder. A lot of the times the filtering or blurring effect occurs for me more in loose setting powders rather than pressed powders like this, but for some reason this just works absolutely beautiful with most of the foundations that I've tried it with. It blurs, it smooths, it sets your face, and it does not cling to dry patches. Hopefully you guys are noticing some type of theme here. Anything that I like or is my favorite, it has to be something that is not going to cling to my dryness, because it's just something I can't avoid. And so I only choose products that are great for dry skin. So if you're someone who has dry skin, has not found a great setting powder, this is definitely one to check out. This next product is something that I have used for years. It's just I didn't mention it on my channel because of the person who is affiliated with the brand. This is the KVD Vegan Beauty Shade and Light Palette. Now I got this way long time ago when Kat Von D was still affiliated with the brand, and now that she is no longer affiliated, I feel so happy because I can share with you guys that this has been my favorite palette for years on end, and it's been my favorite through 2020. Now I just cannot get over the blendability of these. I have used this with every single foundation that I've owned, and it has never done me wrong. I don't know how I haven't hit pan on this, because I use it consistently and it just never goes down. I don't know if it's because I use it with a duo fiber brush, but I just get the most amazing blend with this palette. This palette has 3 shades that you can use for bronzing or contour or even eyeshadow if you would like, and you can use these light shades to set your face. Now these light shades I don't really touch that often because they're a little bit more thicker than I would like in a setting powder, so it makes my face a little cakier than I would like, so I really stay away from these light shades. The main shades that I use in this palette are these 2 right here. I have the shade Shadow Play and Somber. Now Somber is just the greatest contour shade if you're as pale as I am. This is just such a beautiful, perfect kind of grayish, cool tone gray, and it is just absolutely beautiful for pale princesses. Now if you're someone who likes more bronzer than contour, then you want to use the shade here in the middle. It is just such a beautiful all-around palette. The shades in here are so soft and silky smooth. They blend beautifully. They work again with almost every foundation that I've tried it with, and it is just such an all-around great bronzer and contour palette. And again, if you are someone like me who doesn't use the darker shade in here, you can always use it as an eyeshadow. So you can actually get a small palette that is about like this size right here, and it has the light shade, which is one of these setting powder shades, and it has these contour or bronzer shades that you want to choose. So basically the palette looks like this little guy right here, like this side of the palette, and it's a little mini palette. And so I think whenever I finish this one, I'll probably get the mini palette just because I don't use the other shades in here. But again, this is just something that I feel like everyone should have in their makeup arsenal because it is just such a beautiful contour and bronzer palette. My next 2020 favorite is the ColourPop Blush Crush. This eyeshadow palette, you guys, I have not been able to put down. I use it every single time I leave this house, whether it's just a little tint of pink on my eyes or some shimmer or just an inner corner. It does not matter. I always use this palette whenever I go out. Now by going out, I just mean grocery shopping, picking up stuff here and there, but I still always put one of these shades on my eyelids before I left the house. Now what I like to do is I like to just take my finger and I like to take the shade Blossom Up or Enamored, one of these 2 shades, and I just dab it on my lid and I'm out the door. I put a little bit mascara and that is my makeup for the day because I'm not trying to do like a full face whenever we're wearing masks. So this palette is just absolutely beautiful. I love it so much because I'm just really into pinks and these mauve colors. They're a great cool tone shade. I am much more of a cool tone person than I am a warm tone person, probably because of how pasty and pale I am, but this palette has just never let me down. It's very pigmented, it's very easily blendable, and it's just silky soft, silky smooth, true ColourPop quality. Basically, all the 9 shadow palettes that I have, I love, but this is the one that I reach for the most. I love the packaging. The packaging is what got me initially. I didn't even get to see the inside before I knew I was going to purchase it, because the packaging just is my aesthetic. This packaging is what I want like my room to be, just my life. This is my life aesthetic right here. So this is definitely hands down my favorite palette of 2020. The next product I have here is a blush palette. This is the BH Cosmetics Vanilla Cream Truffle 4-color blush palette. This thing is super adorable. I love that BH Cosmetics came out with this because they have so many different shades. This one is the Vanilla Dream Truffle, and they have, I think, 4 other of these quad palettes, and inside we have 4 different blush shades that are absolutely beautiful, and we even have a mirror. So that is one of the main reasons why I like this, is because I have 4 different blush shades to choose from. This is a great traveling palette if you just want to take one thing with 4 different shades. I am someone who, when I travel, I like to take things that have a lot of different options in them rather than taking 3 or 4 blushes that are in separate packaging, because that becomes very bulky when you're traveling. They haven't done anything weird on any kind of foundation that I put it over, and this is just an all-around gorgeous blush palette, and it's so inexpensive. I believe this was like maybe $14, maybe even $12, I don't know. It's just that BH Cosmetics is always so affordable, and their products are always amazing. So if you're looking for something that has several different blush shades, definitely check out the blush palettes from BH Cosmetics. So I know a lot of people don't talk about false lashes, but I'm going to talk about them today because I am someone who is very particular about their false lashes. These false lashes are something that I have just buyed all throughout 2020, and this is my 3rd package. This is the Ardell Naked Lashes in the style 421. Now these are just the perfect fluffy, natural, everyday lash. If you're someone who has very short, stubby lashes like I do, and you want a little bit of length, a little bit of curl, a little bit of volume, enough to look good with absolutely no makeup, you want to try these lashes. I had to go and get a new set of lashes because the ones I'm wearing now are a little scraggly. They're at the end of their lifespan, but I just love these lashes so much. They're so light, so airy, they're so comfortable to wear, and they don't bother me. It actually feels like I'm not wearing anything at all on my eyelids. So Ardell Naked Lashes 421, best lashes hands down. But last 2 products here, I didn't mention any highlighters because all throughout the year I was not really wearing any highlighter. I'm not even wearing highlighter today. It's just something that I haven't really reached for or really thought to put on my face. But I have 2 lip products that I've just been loving. I wear them a lot in my videos. These 2 are like my favorite type of formulas and shades from these brands. Now the first one is the Melt Cosmetics lipstick, and this is in the shade Old Rose. Now I'm not so much saying that these are my favorite lipsticks, but this shade is my favorite shade of all of 2020. This is just like the perfect fucking nude. If you are as pale as me, or if you're in the shade range that I am, this is just the, when I say perfect nude, I mean it's literally my perfect nude for my skin tone. I don't even know what to, like a nude. It's just a beautiful rosy nude, and I'm wearing it today and I just love it so much with my skin tone. I think that this is, it just looks good with any kind of eye look that I'm wearing, whether it's bold or natural or glam, whatever kind of, you know, makeup day I'm having. This shade just never fails for me. It is just such a beautiful shade. Once again, the shade is called Old Rose, and I just love it so much. I love anything rosy and anything mauve-y, anything nude. Now the next favorite product is from Milani, and this is the Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper. Now again, this is just this is one of the best glosses that I use. This is just such a beautiful shade. It's so comfortable. It's not goopy, it's not sticky, it's not stringy. When I say stringy, I mean like when you're talking you have the strings of a glob like gloss, and it's nothing like that, but it is just such a beautiful nude pinky shade. I'm actually going to just put this on so you guys can see just how beautiful it is. Now, of course, there is a little bit of pigment to this. As you can see, it is a completely different shade from the Melt Cosmetics lipstick that I'm wearing. I love the feel of these lip plumpers because, again, they're not thick, they're not goopy. It doesn't feel extremely minty on the lips either. I really hate whenever I put on a lip plumping product like the e.l.f. lip plumping products. I feel so much of the like mintiness going on my lips, and I hate that. Why? Because I don't like mint. I just don't feel like mint should be in anything edible or anything that's gonna go into your mouth. Well, I mean, aside from like toothpaste and mouthwash, that kind of stuff is what mint should be for. But I don't believe mint should be on lip products. And although this is a little bit of a minty lip plumper, it doesn't have that stinging sensation, like that burning sensation. With dry skin comes dry fucking lips, and my lips are always dry. So whenever I use a lip plumping gloss, it can't be too minty because then it's gonna sting the shit out of my lips, or it's like some kind of other ingredient in there that feels like mint, but it actually feels like your lips are on fire, like you poured, I don't know, chili pepper or something on them. By the way, the shade name I should probably mention is Soft Rose. Once again, we're with the roses, and I just love this shade so much. It's so beautiful. It even looks really good with the Old Rose shade from Melt Cosmetics. It's just such a great all-around gloss, and if you're someone who likes gloss with pigment, then this is definitely gloss you want to check out. All right, my loves, that is all the products that I just absolutely loved through and through 2020. They have never failed me, and again, these are all great products for dry skin. I am someone who has very dehydrated, dry, crusty, flaky, just gross skin, and so I always like products that pertain to dry skin or help dry skin out or doesn't accentuate any of the dryness on my face. So all these products are good for dry skin. Hopefully, if any of you guys are thinking about trying these products, this video will entice you to try them out. I just want to say thank you guys so much once again for just supporting me throughout all of 2020 and the years before, and I really hope everyone had a great New Year's, and I just hope that everybody continues to stay safe. The one thing that is just like boggling my mind is everyone thinks because it's 2021 everything's going to be so much better, but we have to put forth the effort to make things better, because you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome. So if people still aren't wearing their fucking masks when they go outside, then we're still going to have, you know, a bunch of people sick in 2021. So please do your part, wash your fucking hands, wear that fucking mask, be polite, do your fucking part, and just you know, just do what you're supposed to do. Just listen to the goddamn rules. All right, you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please hit a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when I post my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you want to talk a little shit, leave it all in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.